So the DD2 contingent makes its way out through the pre-grid for their second of 3 races here at Muelsen for the continuation of the opening round of the 2020 Rotax Max Challenge Germany season here at Muelsen. Your grid is as follows. Starting from pole position, the number 433 of Florian Breitenbach will have the 431 of Niklas Krenz alongside. Ronny Göttler in the 499 will have Max Fleischmann in the 407 alongside. And then we see the 413 of Marcel Steinert and Jana Stier in the 444 on row 3. Hannes Border in the 468 and Jonas Wolscheid in the 420 ran out the top 4 rows. And completing the top 10, it is Oliver Breitenbach and Yannick Jacobs in the 422 and the 411 respectively as we go onto the formation lap. Rounding out the 15 strong will be Dennis Thiem in the 404, Maximilian Dombos in the 414, Tim Stender in the 409, Francisco Blum in the 425, and Mark Bartels in the 488. Will start from 15th on the grid after a disappointing retirement in the first race. 14 minutes will be set on the timer for their penultimate race of the first day of competition. So the red light's ignited on the starting gantry. Some great battling from the DD2s earlier on in their first race. I'm expecting more of the same this time around as they now head towards the penultimate couple of corners. So Florian Breitenbach and Niklas Krenz will then have to keep the pace. The drivers now make their way through the final corner. Into the tram lines we go. Revs rise. Lights go out. They are off and away as Breitenbach keeps Niklas Krenz at bay heading into turn 2 for the first time. The whole field makes its way through. As now there has been a quick change, and that was Niklas Krenz as Max Fleischmann now trying to go for the lead up into turn 5. But Niklas Krenz manages to shoot past the 407 from FM Racing. And there has been a couple of changes because up into 4th and 5th respectively have gone Marcel Steinert and Jana Stier. Florian Breitenbach now down into 3rd position as it's nearly 2 abreast going through the penultimate chicane on the circuit. So Niklas Krenz hits the front of the field and is going to try and start pulling away from Max Fleischmann. And Jana Stier has had a bit of a drama there. The 444 from Nies Racing, definitely not, that car doesn't seem to be having the greatest run of the performance at the moment. Stier dropped off the back of Steiner quite quickly. But let's see. Looks like Jana Stier is just trying to hang on at the moment. Loses out of position to the 468 of Hannes Border as Jana Stier keeps the inside line, trying to keep Oliver Breitenbach, teammate at Nies Racing. Or hasn't, no. It looks like Stier's got problems. But at the front of the field, Max Fleischmann has just been reeled in by Florian Breitenbach, who has Marcel Steinert breathing up the inside as the RS competition driver in the 413 tries to make good intentions there to try and get past, as I think Jana Stier is just going to have to try and hold on as much as possible, but the kart does not seem to be one with the driver. So I did see that Stier was looking down at the right-hand side of the kart as Steinert has got past Breitenbach up into 3rd place. But Niklas Krenz in the 431 running away with it at the moment as Florian Breitenbach goes up the inside of Marcel Steinert and tries to get past. And we've got the 409 of Tim Stender has been given a 5-second time penalty, possibly for all 4 wheels out of the tram lines. Niklas Krenz has got a lead of 1.747 seconds ahead of Max Fleischmann, and now Marcel Steinert from RS competition rounds out the top 3. Hannes Borders closed up on the back bumper of Florian Breitenbach in the battle for P4. And Oliver Breitenbach is just ahead of Jonas Volscheid in 6th position. Janis Stier has actually dropped outside of the top 10, unfortunately, and is now circulating in around about 12th position. Yeah, and Janis Stier not... I think Janis Stier is just trying to hold on, but in the meantime, the battle between Hannes Border and Florian Breitenbach has reached a fever pitch, because Border went around the inside coming through the final corner. Breitenbach tried to respond through turn 2, but couldn't get the move done. As Stier is now, I think, going to find that Francisco Blum has just got past. That is the case. So Janis Stier, who is looking pretty good, was up in as high as 5th position, now having a drama, possibly of a technical nature. But at the moment, the powder keg is about to be lit, and the grenade is about to be thrown in the general direction of Max Fleischmann, courtesy of Marcel Steinert. And just behind them, they've got, as Hannes Border, I think, is just really trying to get past the other Breitenbach, and it looks like they've been swapping positions. And that is Florian Breitenbach as Jonas Volscheid trying to go up the inside of Oliver Breitenbach. So the Parallel Deutschland driver trying to get past the 4:33, nearly had the move done, as we've got a breakdown on the circuit, and that is unfortunately the 4:99 has just started stopping on the track. That's Ronnie Gertler. Gertler in dramas. Oh! Oh my goodness me, trying to get the car started, and one driver had to slingshot pass around the outside of Ronnie Gertler. That could have been incredibly... Now, there is a technical drama, but the thing is that where Ronnie Gertler was, that was incredibly dangerous. And now Gertler's got back up to speed. Mechanical black flag has now been signalled to Max Fleischmann. His race is over. And it's the back bumper that's dragging on the right rear. So... more dramas up and down the order. Stier in technical dramas. Gertler having a mechanical problem down the main straightaway in the centre part of the circuit. And now Max Fleischmann having a rear bumper that's hanging off on the right rear. And he's got to be pulled into the pits. And that is his day done. Reference this particular race. But he'll have another race later on, as DD2 will be into battle for the final time at 17:40 local time. 8 minutes and 50 seconds plus an additional lap. Running order will be as follows. Once Max Fleischmann, who has 3 laps to pit the 4:07, and looks to have done so, he's coming to the pits, and I'm sure he won't be happy. So Krenz leads from Steinert, Breitenbach, Border. Oliver Breitenbach rounds out the top 5. Jonas Volscheid from Parallel Deutschland in 6th position. Yannick Jacobs, Maximilian Donbos, Mark Bartels is up from 15th. As now someone's just gone out of the circuit, out onto the circuit, and that is Max Fleischmann. That was a quick repair turnaround. Janis Stier unfortunately has retired. Ronnie Gertler has not decided to continue this race. Max Fleischmann now rejoins down in the last of the positions. As now I've seen Francisco Blum now rounding out the top 10 or top 11 positions. So Dennis Thiem might be up ahead, as the 4:14 of Maximilian Donbos now really starting to move up the order. But then Hannes Border and Florian Breitenbach now battling for 3rd place. And just behind them is Jonas Volscheid, just behind Oliver Breitenbach. But closing in on them is Yannick Jacobs in the 4:11 from Kraft Motorsport. As the 4:09 of Tim Stender. And then the 4:07 of Max Fleischmann now across the line. So Janis Stier out on lap 3. Ronnie Gertler out on lap 4. But with the fact that Niklas Krenz has got a healthy lead of 2.3 seconds, is now 2.6. As Yannick Jacobs, this track has evolved ever so quickly. Yannick Jacobs has just put in a 51.283 on that last lap alone. That's, well, the previous lap on lap number 7. And so at the moment, Keynes is keeping a healthy lead of around 664 seconds. And now Hannes Border trying to keep pace in the 468. The Kartsport Klim driver trying to battle away with Nies Racing's Florian Breidenbach as they go over to the far part of the circuit, into the chicane. A right and then a left, and then power out of the corner. Not too far behind, you've got Oliver Breidenbach and Jonas Wolscheid. They're battling away over what is 5th on the road. Keynes crosses the line first. Gap between him and Steinert is now 2.9 seconds as the battle for 3rd place really getting heated. As Border was right in the slipstream of Florian Breidenbach going into turns 2 and 3. And not too far behind, Oliver Breidenbach has now managed to put a bit of daylight between himself and Jonas Wolscheid. As Mark Bartels now gets past Maximilian Dombos for 8th position. A gain of 7 places over the course of the race's duration so far. Just under 5.5 minutes. As Max Fleischmann now passes Tim Stender for position. Up into 12th goes the 407 from FM Racing. Now on to lap number 10 goes Niklas Keynes. The gap between him and Marcel Steiner from Morris Competition now extends to just over 3 seconds. Florian Breidenbach has now got a bit of a gap between himself and Hannes Border to the tune of just over 0.3 of a second. But Jonas Wolscheid in the 420 not giving up on trying to chase down the 422 of Oliver Breidenbach. So Wolscheid still doing level best to try and keep on terms with the Nies Racing driver, and comes out of the final, the double right into the final chicane. Wolscheid looking racy here, but then Yannick Jacobs is also closing. Keynes just doing what he needs to do, just putting in the laps. A 51.460. Steiner crosses the line, a 51.899. And now Jakob. I'm just looking, Yannick Jacobs is just over 3/10 away from the back bumper of Jonas Wolscheid. So Jacobs has been putting in the hot laps and is actually the fastest out of anybody on the circuit, a 50.990. This track has evolved so quickly over the last 10 minutes. The dry nature of the track has come back to the drivers, and we are at full racing speed. So still 13 drivers circulating as Tim Stender crosses the line in 13th position. And now it's getting really, really interesting between 5th, 6th and 7th. As Jonas Wolscheid was looking up the inside of Oliver Breidenbach, going into turns 2 and 3. Into the left kink at 4. Oh, they're nearly rubbing panels there. But Jonas Wolscheid up the inside of Oliver Breidenbach, who counterattacks ever so quickly and manages to slingshot past the Powerhändler Deutschland driver very, very quickly. Great move there by Jonas Wolscheid, but Oliver Breidenbach had that pure pace and knew how the kart would hook up the minute he'd hit the throttle and come out of the corner. And Keynes still pushing on. Now on to lap number 14 of the race and puts in a 51.315. Florian Breidenbach trying to close in on Marcel Steinert, as now Yannick Jacobs senses an opportunity that maybe he can get past Jonas Wolscheid from Parolin, Germany. And then maybe even Oliver Breidenbach just up ahead. But time is starting to run out. 2 minutes and 13. Plus 1 lap. Niklas Keynes has nearly a 4.4 second advantage in the pocket at the moment, as Oliver Breidenbach, Jonas Wolscheid and Yannick Jacobs still battling away for the final position in the top 5. But Marcel Steinert better watch it, because look on the back bumper. There is Florian Breidenbach wanting back that second place position and going side by side through the right-hand kink. He gets it. That was a brilliant move. Absolute bravado at its very best from Florian Breitenbach. Just sent it up the inside and then actually managed to nip ahead across the timing beam. And it was by 5/1000ths of a second that he was ahead of Marcel Steiner before he got the run going into turn 1 and then into 2. That was a great move. As Volscheid trying to force the issue here with Oliver Breitenbach for 5th position as we're fast approaching the final 60 seconds of the race. But Volscheid needs to, has 2 things to think about here. When to attack against Oliver Breitenbach and when to defend against Yannick Jacobs. And, Volscheid going for it, and he's, they touch sidewalls there going into turn 2. But nice work there by Jonas Volscheid from Parolin, Germany to get past Oliver Breitenbach. And here comes Yannick Jacobs as Oliver Breitenbach trying to go back up the inside of Jonas Volscheid. Nearly gets the move done, but then nearly could have had a little bit of a collision there with the 420 from Parolin, Germany. But then Yannick Jacobs now sees, well, if Jonas Volscheid can go past, maybe I can as well. And he's been sitting there biding his time, waiting for that opportunity. So Niklas Krens will now go on to the penultimate lap of the race very shortly, with 6 seconds on the clock until the timer expires. 14 minutes are up. Niklas Krens has nearly 4.5 seconds advantage as Yannick Jacobs now will have this plus an additional lap to get past Oliver Breitenbach for what is 6th position after a great move by Jonas Volscheid just a lap ago. So the 4:09 of Tim Stender allows Niklas Krens to get past. Stender now not on the same lap as the leaders. So Krens leads from Florian Breitenbach, Marcel Steinert, Hannes Border, Jonas Volscheid. As now, Marcel Steinert will have to watch it because I think I sense Hannes Border is not too far behind. So Steinert really quick in the initial phase of the race, but has started fading. Possibly the tyres might be dropping off a little bit there as the 468 of Hannes Border goes round the outside of the kink through into turn 1. Gets the move done. I think as Yannick Jacobs going around the outside of Oliver Breitenbach through turn number 3 and nearly got the move done. Talk about leaving it until the last moment and spring a surprise on your opponent, but great move there by Hannes Border to get past Marcel Steinert to take 3rd place. So we are on the final lap. Niklas Krens has quite literally been unstoppable. It's now the 4:31 from 42 competition. Now powers out of the penultimate corner. Through into the right-hand sweeper. Across the start-finish line. The checkered flag waves once again for Niklas Krens from 42 competition. Florian Breitenbach will have to settle for 2nd. And Hannes Border very happy with 3rd place ahead of Marcel Steinert. Jonas Volscheid from Parolin, Germany rounds out the top 5 ahead of Oliver Breitenbach. Yannick Jacobs taking 7th. Mark Bartels will take 8th at the flag, having started dead last. Don Boss in the 414 will finish in 9th. Looks like we've now got Dennis Thiem coming across the line. In 10th position, Tim Stender already classified a lap down in 13th position as we wait for Max Fleischmann and then Franziska Blum in the 425 to cross the line. But Niklas Krens, undefeatable in this race, winning by a comfortable 4.218 seconds.